Welcome back to Boomer TV. And I say welcome back because I'm assuming you've been here before. Is that presumptuous?
Yeah, no, I think it's great. We're so glad that you're tuned in tonight on WFYI because we've got a great show for you lined up.
And if it happens to be your first time with us, I'm Paul Poteet, that's Julie Patterson.
And we're going to take you in this first story to catch up with Dick Wolfsey. I know you've heard the name. He's been an institution in this market and broadcasting for many, many years. I haven't seen him in about 4 years. Frankly, we used to work at another station together, but we're going to catch up, find out if there's another Barney, and see what he's been up to.
Dick's been around a long time, and so now have been the Indianapolis Colts. And they've been around for so long, they qualify as a historical item.
We take you to the Indiana Historical Society, and they've got a football-themed exhibit right now that basically walks us through the history of the Colts here in Indianapolis. Pretty cool.
This is a doctor that we're going to meet later on who has an interesting story, too. He's been all around the world. Not that his patients are all around the world. He just ends up all around.
It's not why he travels. He just loves to travel. He's met Mother Teresa, the Pope. His name is Dr. Chuck. He's a pediatric physician. Now find out why he's so interested in helping the world's children. And
you won't have to wait that long to see the doctor. He's going to be on within this half hour. So there's that.
Yes. Now, I don't know if you get creeped out when you hear the word catacombs, but here in Indianapolis, we have catacombs underneath City Market. And they haven't always been open to the public, but we're going to show you tonight.
Oh, I hope we have lights for these cameras. Ooh.
We've got that and oh so much more on tonight's episode of Boomer TV. Stay with us.
Boomer TV is made possible with support from
Westport Homes, dedicated to building homes for every chapter of life, with plans and details that match a customer's specific needs and style. More information on Westport Homes' lifestyle collection, including community locations, at westport-home.com.
Altman, Poindexter, and Wyatt Lawyers, helping people with business and estate planning. More information is available at apwlawyer.com.
Unique Home Solutions, serving more than 30,000 homeowners since 1983. Providing home remodeling services from minor updates to complete renovations with a mission to improve appearance and efficiency. More at uniquehomesolutions.org.
Well, the person you're about to meet here on Boomer TV has something in common with your Boomer TV co-host.
We're old.
We are? No!
He's not. Well, kind of.
Well, we've all been on TV in the morning for a long stretch.
In this market, in Indianapolis, and you'll know him. You've heard his name. Dick Wolfsey?
Dick the Bruiser, let me tell you something. I'm not scared of you. Let me tell you that right now.
Shut up, Wolfsey. I've had enough of you. You woke me up a half hour ago. You climbed over my fence.
What have you been up to?
Oh, gosh. I am still on television 2 days a week.
Now, I see on Wish TV. Are we
talking
still
Saturday
doing the weekend
and
reporting?
And I'm actually doing exactly the same thing I've done since 1983. Well, not 1983, because I had a talk show for a while downtown.
I remember that with Patty,
Yeah. Well, and also after that, I was on Channel 13 down at Union Station.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But I still do the same kind of remotes. I find goofy, crazy things going on. People with odd collections, people that, heartwarming stories. And I still do it, but only twice a week, so it makes life a little easier than working every day. I write a humor column.
You can write. You're a good writer.
Thank you. I write a humor, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm in about 35 newspapers, and around the country they pick up the column too.
I know.
So that's really cool for me, because something funny will happen during the day, and I've written 1,000 of these now for 20 years, every week for 20 years. I've written about 12 books, so I'm just very lucky.
What was the first book you ever wrote?
Well, the first book was really lousy, so I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. What about the second book?
Well, I've written
12, you said.
I've written 12, but 4 of them were a compilation of the columns, so they're easy to put together.
Got it.
But my two most popular books one was called Indiana Curiosities, and it was the 300 strangest places in Indiana to visit. And that took me 2 years to write. I went to every county. And then my most popular book, in fact, it was actually a big seller in Europe too, was Mornings with Barney, which was all about my dog.
And that was based on your Mornings with Barney.
It was based on 12 years, 2,700 shows, where he came with me literally every day. He was always in trouble. Great story. A veterinarian heard me on TV complaining about the dog.
Okay.
So he said, I'm going to come over and teach your dog not to dig and to chew.
Oh.
And we did a show on my front step. And while he talked to me about the therapy, Barney dug up the entire garden. And then we went to a commercial break, and we never came back because he chewed the microphone cord. That's a true story. That's a true story. And to this day, you know, I know.
R.I.P.
And people say, you know, he was so funny. I said, well, he was a dog. He wasn't funny. I mean, he didn't know to be funny. He just was always in trouble.
Well, we love the Barney stories, and I'm not surprised it was one of your huge
Yeah.
bestsellers. Who would you say has influenced you?
There were 3 people in my life who made a huge difference for me in terms of being on television and writing. One was Soupy Sales, who
funny
I
guy.
watched as a kid, and when I was in New York on television, he and I co-hosted together.
Oh my gosh,
And we
you're
became,
kidding.
And we became friends. And he came here then to Indianapolis to do the comedy clubs, and I was with him every single day for 2 weeks. The other person was Art Buchwald, who I met when I was in college and did a story on him when I had a humor column in college. And then over the past 35 years or so, we had stayed in touch. Not a lot, but stayed in touch. And he influenced my column writing. And then my hero of all time was Steve Allen, who, you know, if you're very young, you might, under 50 maybe, you might not even remember Steve Allen. But Steve Allen was a creative genius, and I've read all his books, and he and I probably I've interviewed him 6 or 7 times. And again, I don't want to say we were friends, but he influenced me, and I knew him, and he knew me, and you know, so those are the 3 people. They were real special. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for the city of Indianapolis, all that you've brought us over the
Well,
years.
thank you. I
It's
hope
been
lots more.
incredible. How many times have we laughed with you, laughed at you,
Yeah,
mostly
well,
with
no,
you?
yeah, that's right. I've done a few things that I deserve that. So
You've had an amazing run.
thank you, Julie. Great to see you.
great to
It's been
see
a
you
long
too.
time. Good to see you.
Julie Patterson, Boomer TV.
Now, when we talk about Catacombs, we're not talking about the way Piper, my calico that we used to have, used to like do my hair for me, you know, with the paws.
That's a whole other
It's
story.
a different kind of catacombs, okay. But you don't, or at least to me, as a Hoosier, you don't think about, you know, catacombs underground here in Indiana.
We've got secret passageways, and they are all under the city market. And they weren't always open to the public, but they are now, so we're going to take you there. Ooh.
Leave it to Michael Atwood to find out.
What is it about dark, dank basements with ancient-looking archways, and you just never know what might be lurking around the next corner, that can raise those little hairs on the back of our neck, make our heart beat just a little faster, have us imagining all sorts of things we would otherwise never even dream of? I mean, I ain't afraid of no ghost, but this place is kind of creepy.
Didn't work.
Actually, the only creep here is your intrepid reporter. I mean, Joe Perrin with the Indianapolis City Market was nice enough to give us a tour of Indy's catacombs, and I just had to try and pull off a cheap joke at his expense. Sorry, Joe. But ever the professional, he still gave us an enlightening tour of an otherwise dark place filled with shadows.
So we're down in what we call the Catacombs here at the Indianapolis City Market, and the Catacombs are one of the only things that is left from Tomlinson Hall.
Tomlinson Hall was a massive structure and an impressive addition to the late 19th century Indianapolis skyline. Today, all that remains of the actual structure can be found here amongst these old arches and passageways.
We're directly underneath the West Plaza of the City Market, and that's that plaza at the intersection of Market and Delaware.
Today, tours are available, and there are all sorts of events, from karaoke in the catacombs to paranormal explorations.
Looking for ghosts.
Yeah, and
Or the activity associated with.
yes, I would describe it as such, but the people that come and do those tours always have a really, really good time, and I think have good things to say about it. I personally have not gone on one. I have to come down here. We don't keep these lights on all the time, so I'm the one that usually has to come turn them on, myself or my coworker Sandy. And when it's pitch black down here, that's about the creepiest experience that I need to have down here. So I'll leave the tours to other people.
A beautiful yet just a little creepy event happened a couple years ago. Threshold singers, a group you typically find at the bedside of someone who is dying, were singing here in a circle of chairs to honor Earth Day. All the lights were off. The acoustics here are perfect for such singing. And then...
It was spectacular, and then it was over, and we turned the lights back on, and everybody kind of went on their merry way. A couple of weeks later, there was a tour going on down here. My boss was leading a tour and with a private group, and somebody on the tour had a nice digital camera and thought this looked really cool and took a picture. And when they looked down at their camera, they looked in the viewfinder, and then they saw that there was the silhouette of a woman sitting in one of the chairs. And it's like, oh my gosh, you have to look at this. And everybody else saw it too. And ever since then, we leave the chairs right where they are, because, you know, just in case.
Can't be too careful when dealing with the paranormal. Then there's the case of the mysteriously moving market cart.
My boss came down here to turn the lights on because a tour was about to happen, and she comes back upstairs and looks at me and said, have you been down there lately? I said, no, why?
Who moved the cart?
She said, well, the cart is on the complete other side of the Catacombs now, and there's no tracks. We have a dirt floor here. There are no tracks in the dirt to show that it's been rolled. And then, after that, if you actually try and move this thing, the axles on these wheels are so rusted it's impossible. And so either somebody came down here and played a really great trick on us, or it moved on its own, or some other way.
We won't solve this mystery during our time here, but we will update you, dear viewer, should the mysteriously moving market cart ever make another mysterious move.
Joe Perrin, thanks so much for taking us through a not so creepy but historic walk through the City Market Catacombs. Yeah. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure to do it. Thanks for coming out.
And for Boomer TV, I'm Michael Atwood.
Well, Paul, there's this really cool doctor. His name is Dr. Chuck Dietzen. Everybody knows him as Dr. Chuck. He has traveled all over the world. He's met Mother Teresa. Well, that's probably the biggest name we could throw out there. Right?
You should probably start with a different name and work your way up to Mother Teresa.
Right, probably. Right. But he's learned all about the field of pediatrics. That's his specialty. And you're going to meet him tonight on Boomer TV and find out why he is so amazing.
Hi, this is Glenn Bill, and we are here with the founder and volunteer of Timmy Global Health, Dr. Chuck Dietzen. Dr. Chuck, good to be with you today.
Good to see you.
Tell us about how Timmy Global Health started.
An important thing happened in December 1996. One of the residents I was working with wanted to go back to India. He had been a pastor in the past and then came back to medical school, and he said to me, you know, I realized people in India didn't need religion, they needed health care. So he said, do you know anyone who could help me set up a medical program in India? And I said, sure, I will. So through Dr. Joe Bergeron, got involved in the work with the Missionaries of Charity and the South India Church of Christ Mission. And because of that work and because of spending time with Mother Teresa, it was time to commit to a greater effort. And so in early 1997, Timmy Global Health was born.
So that had to be quite an experience to actually be in the presence of Mother. Tell us maybe the one or two greatest messages that you got from her.
It was the greatest moment in my life. When I met with her, it was such an informal process, and you really sensed like you were the focus of all of her energy at that time. What she said to us was this: never, never abandon your patients. Always be there to give them hope, particularly if we could not cure them.
As I understand it, you do lots of work with boomers at Timmy Global Health. Can you tell us how they integrate with what you do in your mission and how that's benefited Timmy Global?
One way to solve the disparities in healthcare with the way the business of healthcare is going in this country, couldn't we serve the underserved by bringing in high school students, college students, mentoring them with boomers, not just those who practice medicine, but who are business leaders, community leaders, and show them how they can change the world for the better and help them find their way. What should they commit their lives to? So that's how the whole Timmy organization got started, was to say, we welcome whatever gift you have. Please share it. Please mentor these young people so that they can also be a generation of world changers.
You've certainly learned not only from the boomers around the world, but boy, you've learned from the children who you serve. And this book, Pint-Sized Profits, what a fantastic book. I've read it. It's great. It's 12 lessons, I think, from what the children you've served. Talk a little bit about Pint-Sized Profits and what it's meant to you.
Having served as the medical director of pediatric hospice here in Indianapolis for 7 years in the past, having been a pediatric rehab doc for 26 years now, I'm at the bedside of some very critically ill children here and abroad, and I paid attention, and I tried to learn from them. And there were these 12 principles that they taught me that were important to living a full life. And part of that was, as the subtitle says, these are inspirational moments that taught me we were all born to be healers.
Yes.
So once again, that question about boomers, of course, yes, you have the skills to heal. And that's what we try to do at Timmy, is invite you to share that with anyone and everyone that we come in contact with. We love to give you that opportunity.
That's fantastic. So one of my favorite quotes that you always say is, we're not all born to be doctors and nurses, but we all are born to be healers. So I want to thank you today for giving us that message. I want to challenge our viewers to engage with Timmy Global Health, engage in the community, not only for what the community will benefit, but how much it benefits you. And your message and your inspiration is great. So thank you so much, Dr. Chuck, for doing what you do, and we appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is Glenn Bill with Boomer TV.
Oh, let me guess. Paul Poteet's got to eat.
I didn't want to say it, but it's true. I do have to eat.
Well, I love when you go to these restaurants, because some of them I've been to, some of them I haven't, and we always learn more about the food, the people, the business, the families, and it's cool.
I know on a recent episode, I also said I would bring you some food back. So.
And you didn't.
I know.
I'm hungry.
This time for sure.
Okay.
Boomer TV takes you to the tie-dye grill. Peace, baby. It's hippie time. Is that right, Chad Stearns?
That's what they say.
Chad is kind of a, I guess, second-generation restaurateur at this point. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Your parents, when did they first open the tie-dye grill?
They opened in October 2006.
2006. Now, the tie-dye grill is an East Side institution. I've been there for a long time. I should be in an institution, but I came to your East Side institution. I've been there a long time, but if you haven't been in a long time, a new location.
Yeah, we did. We moved just around the corner, like 45 seconds.
Some of the stuff kind of looks the same.
True. We did bring the flair and the flavor. So
yeah, you've got flair. As I look around this Moose Lodge, I'm seeing lots of flair.
Right. We just moved around the corner of the iconic Moose Lodge on 16th Street. Just barely around the corner from the old spot.
Okay, let's unpack this. You're a this hippie-themed restaurant, and you're working out of a Moose Lodge now. Don't just skate past that, Chad. Let's just.
What is more communal than sharing a space? Hippies are about sharing and communes, so we share a restaurant, we share bathrooms, and they have a lounge next door, and we can feed them. So it's sharing is caring.
That's awesome. This place definitely still has your vibe. So
yeah.
the things that people remember from Shadeland Avenue, still here on 16th Street. So you're on 16th, not too far east of Shadeland on the south side of the street.
Yeah, very, very close.
Now, you know, it's a big deal, of course, when Boomer TV comes to visit, but you were also visited recently by a national TV show.
Yeah, we were actually on the cooking channel, not, gosh, less than a year ago for our tenderloins. Visited by a show called Cheap Eats.
Man, and the prices are reasonable, honestly.
I feel so too.
Paul Poteet's got to eat, and Paul Poteet's also cheap. So I am your cheap meteorologist. So you've built, you know, a really loyal clientele from, you know, not only like the tenderloin, but those prices too.
Oh yeah, we've definitely got an economical sandwich. You get what you pay for.
You're on a USA Today list also.
Yeah.
If people don't want a tenderloin, but you know, what else is big on the menu then?
Reubens, burgers.
Oh yeah, I've had the Reuben many times. Yeah,
our notorious for our cheeseburgers, our hamburgers, and we've got some great salads. Chicken salads.
Salads?
I know it sounds crazy. Great salads.
Are the hours of operation, you were always a big lunchtime
Yeah.
spot. That's usually when I would end up coming by, but has anything changed now that you're at the Moose Lodge?
No, same hours, 10:30 to 8 Monday through Friday, and 10:30 to 2 on Saturdays, serving the great food all day long.
Now, people have really been coming for a long time and know your parents. They enjoying their retirement from the business?
About 85% retired. Yeah, Dad comes in
Oh,
the morning
wait.
time.
Oh, something.
Whoa!
This just handed to me. Breaking news. Breaking tenderloin.
This just in.
Yeah, this just in.
That's our notorious famous tenderloin.
Look at that sucker. Look at those fries. So the parents are enjoying retirement, and you're enjoying running the business. Do you ever, you're only in your early 40s. Does all the hippie stuff, do you ever just like, what am I doing? This is the timing is off.
Absolutely not a hippie. But, being with Mom and Dad when they opened it, I know the love and the heart and all the stuff that they put into it. And I try to just carry that forward. So, and it's served me well so far.
That's fun. It's a great family story, family business story too, and always a great atmosphere. Speaking of atmosphere.
I can smell the atmosphere.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can smell the atmosphere. What do you put on that thing to make it smell like that?
It's tie-dye magic. It's our own personal seasoning.
No, it's not that stuff the hippies were putting.
No, that's not yet.
No, there's none of that around there. All right, I'll have this tenderloin, maybe have a cheeseburger, maybe eventually, if we're still here in a couple hours, we'll have a salad.
Yeah, for sure. Fish fry on Friday if you come back tomorrow.
Fish fry on Friday,
yeah.
I love it. Chad, thanks so much for sharing the food and the love.
Appreciate it.
Of the hippies. Now we're going to get in the magic bus. Drive out of the Moose Lodge.
Drive out of the Moose.
Off into the east side of Indy Sunset. For Boomer TV, I'm Paul Poteet.
Paul, do you like to go to the Indiana Historical Society?
I do like history, so, and the longer I'm around, the more of it I have in my head.
The more you're becoming history.
Yeah, the more I'm becoming history, so
But
maybe that's why.
Yeah, their cafe, there's great food, they have a cool bookstore, museum shop. What we're going to show you tonight at the IHS has to do with football and the Colts.
This is interesting. They're taking sort of a broader look at the team, have all kinds of artifacts and media from the Colts and their time here, their long time here. They have quite a history now in Indianapolis.
And we're going to show it to you right now.
Hey, we're here at the Indiana Historical Society in downtown Indianapolis, where they have just opened up the Colts Exhibit, and it is something you have to see. Jeff Mills, the director of exhibits, thank you so much for giving us this tour.
Absolutely.
We've got a lot to show you. Let's go check it out.
Let's see it.
This place is slick. There are touch screens, interactive play, but I think what's really cool is there's a really rooted history lesson that's happening in here. And as we kind of walk along here, you've got the shovel that marked the beginning. Talk to us about this. We've got tickets here. What are some of your favorite collection pieces that you can find in here?
I love, personally, Peyton Manning's wristband playbook, and it's printed in such small print. I don't know if you could even see it with a magnifying glass, but he was able to call his place from that, and we've got that over here as well.
Oh yeah, we've got to go see that. Let's go check that out. Okay, you were right. This is teeny tiny, and this is what Peyton Manning wore during the games?
During the games, yeah. So not only did it control the sweat, but it also controlled the game, because he was famous for his preparation for the game, but even Peyton needed a little help.
Okay, so that was your favorite artifact. I think I am loving this interactive game here at this exhibit. So this is all about how much money these football players make over the years.
Right.
Show me how this works.
So the idea here is we want to figure out how much pro football players got paid in their day. And the idea is that they were always paid a lot of money relative to everybody else. So let's see how much William Hefferfinger was paid in 1892.
Okay.
I'll give you the money. There's 125.
Okay.
That's 250. So there you go.
Ooh, all right.
So he was $500 in 1892 for one game. And so that comes out to $10,000 today's money. So they were making money, they were making coin even then.
And I'm thinking Eli Manning on here is making just,
We just have to stack it in.
loads of this stuff. And this is very similar to my salary, so this makes sense. You know what I love about this exhibit, though, is it really has an appeal for all generations. So if you're bringing your kids or your grandkids, not only are they getting a history lesson, but there's a lot of cool tech stuff here, too, with the touchscreens and photo ops.
You get to pick out your favorite Colts player and scroll through a carousel and decide who it's going to be. And then you can stand out here and you'll be able to pose with them and get your picture taken, and then you can email it out to yourself. And
well, I got to go with Peyton, right?
Nice.
Okay, that's a framer. That's my Christmas card next year for sure.
You've got a lot of things over here that tell how great the Colts are and the spirit and the leadership they brought to the sports franchise here in the city. But we also wanted to talk about how that all came about through the last 35 years.
Wow, I mean, so it's definitely not just for sports fans, this exhibit.
There's something for everybody as well.
Well, we can't talk about the Colts without checking in with the cheerleaders, and this is an authentic uniform we're seeing.
It is. Authentic rhinestones as well. We wanted to make sure that there's a lot of folks that go into making the football team a team, right? And you've got the cheerleaders and you've got blue as well, and we also talk about the officials. So it's not just about the players, there's the coaches, the officials, and the cheerleaders, and they all work very hard to create the image and provide the support that the Colts need to win those games.
Absolutely, from the stands to the sideline to the field, it really all represents what Indianapolis is all about.
It is, and we really were very thankful for all the support that the Colts and everyone in the community has provided to make this exhibit possible.
Well, Jeff, we cannot thank you enough for having us here and giving us this tour. It is top-notch. For now, I'm Amanda Clark with Boomer TV.
Thanks for tuning in tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show.
It goes by too fast.
It does.
Oh, well. We'll be back again with another one soon, so don't worry.
Next week, 7:30.
I bet you've got something for me, though,
Yes.
before we leave.
Fresh material. You ready?
Okay.
What do you call Grandma on social media?
I don't know. What do you call it?
Instagram. I have another one. Why do you spread peanut butter on the road?
I don't know, Julie.
To go with the traffic jam. That's an old traffic joke. I used to do traffic. Okay, one more. Okay, why didn't the toilet paper make it across the street or across the road?
Now it's getting saucy. Okay.
It got stuck in the crack. That was kind of funny. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
Thanks, Shecky.
We'll have more next week right here on Boomer TV.
Don't forget to tip your waitresses. For more all things Boomer, just visit our website. That's indieboomer.com. Indie Boomer connects TV, magazine, and radio. It contains useful information for baby boomers all over the Indianapolis metropolitan area. And you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Pick up Indie Boomer magazine at most Kroger stores and libraries. Look for us all over Indy.
Listen to Boomer Radio every Saturday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. on Freedom 95 with a rebroadcast Sundays at 7:30. Indie Boomer, for the next chapter of your life.
Boomer TV is made possible with support from
Westport Homes, dedicated to building homes for every chapter of life, with plans and details that match a customer's specific needs and style. More information on Westport Homes' lifestyle collection, including community locations, at westport-home.com.
Altman, Poindexter, and Wyatt Lawyers, helping people with business and estate planning. More information is available at apwlawyer.com.
Unique Home Solutions, serving more than 30,000 homeowners since 1983. Providing home remodeling services from minor updates to complete renovations with a mission to improve appearance and efficiency. More at uniquehomesolutions.org.